Aha, now you can. Right, we're getting better. So sorry, this is a new system, but hopefully it's going to help us all. And it's all about learning new things all the time. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me. I know we've got so many new people in the team now, which is just absolutely incredible. So what I thought I would do is share with you a little bit about my story, because I know lots of you probably don't know it. You probably just look at me and think, well, you know, you are very successful, but you don't know the backstory. You don't know what's gone on for the past 15 years of my journey. So that's what I'm going to do tonight, because you know what, when I started, I was a completely different person to the one that I am right now. I was really, really shy, really unconfident. Never ever imagined I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now. In fact, I started off just to earn £200 a month. So lots of you will know that my mum's in the business, Jan Whittaker. She'd been with us for 10 years before I got started. So lots of you might have friends, family that you're talking to about the business and they haven't got started with you yet. Well, that was my mum. She was asking me for 10 years to look at it. And clearly I knew a little bit about what she did, but it wasn't for me at that point. And that, I suppose, is the most important thing to know, is this business isn't for everybody right now. What we have to do is literally keep on checking in with people, following up with people, because everyone's lives change. And at some point in people's lives, this will become a lifeboat for them. It will take them from where they are to where they want to go. And that's what happened to me. You know, I was quite happy. I worked in marketing, got made redundant twice. I then had my children. And it was at that point that I saw how this business would work for me. I really wanted to be that mum at home. Will and Rosie were just 2 and 5 months old at the time. And I wanted to be able to be there for them. You know, my big fear was having to put them into nursery and someone else to look after them. And that was so not what I wanted to do. So that's why I then saw how this business would work for me, because I thought, you know what, if I can look after the kids, if I can have that little bit of extra money to be able to do those little things that I wanted to do, then that would be perfect for me. I never thought I would achieve anything more, because I didn't have the confidence to actually plan that I wanted more, that I could get more. So it was literally a step-by-step thing. But what happened was, let me just see in one moment how I can get these comments to come on. Bear with me, because this is new. Let me just see. I'm not quite sure. Let me know. Can you see the comments coming on the screen now from you all or not? Not quite sure if you can or not, but I just thought you might quite like to. Anyway, so I decided, well, do you know what? I was going to get started. If I could just make that bit of extra money, that would be absolutely great. And my mum, you know, was there holding my hand and helping me every step of the way. And she literally, I guess I was a bit like a puppet on a string. If mum was saying do this, I would do it. I wouldn't ask questions. I just trusted in her, because she had my best interest at heart. And that's exactly the same for all of you. Whoever is helping you, we have your best interest at heart, and we want to help you to get up and running. We want to help you realize whatever goals that you've got. And mine was just £200 per month. So there's Will, 2 years old, and Rosie was just 5 months old. I love that picture of them in the flower in the kitchen. Literally, you turn your back for a minute and there they are. I'm sure you mums, dads out there, you'll know exactly what that feels like. And I didn't want to miss out on any of that. So I'm so grateful for Forever, because I was enabled to bring in that extra bit of money to be able to be at home with them very, very quickly. So actually, I got to supervisor in the first 6 weeks in this business, which was super, super quick. I didn't even know what supervisor was, but I was just doing those little things that my mum said. I remember my mum saying to me, Nat, you know, have you got a couple of friends that would like to earn some extra money? Let's get them along as guinea pigs so I can teach you how to talk about the business. And I fixed up maybe 3, 4, 5 friends in the first week or so. And a couple of those got started with us very, very quickly. And that's how I got to supervisor, because we were all doing product launches, sharing the product, sharing the business. And it happened very quickly without me knowing what was going on. So before long, I was now earning probably between £200 and £300 per month, which was kind of more than I'd joined for. So what happened was my business just stabilized. I was bringing that in. I wasn't really pushing it that much more. And I hadn't got behind doing a dream book or a dream board. And lots of us talk to you about dream books and dream boards all the time. It took me 2 years to do one. And I guess I didn't see what the importance was of sticking some pictures in a book to enable me to build my business. So I just kind of ignored it and thought, you know, that might work for other people, but it wasn't going to work for me. However, I picked Will up from nursery one day. So he must have been about 3.5, 4. I picked him up and his teacher said to me, you know, when are you going to Disney? And I kind of looked at her really confused because I wasn't going to Disney at all. It wasn't something that we could afford. But Will had seen it somewhere. To this day, I don't know where. It might have been on TV. It might have been in a magazine. Who knows? But in his eyes, he was excited because he wanted to go to Disney. And if you've got children, if they look at you with those big, bright eyes, you're like, you don't want to say no. And I didn't want to say no. I didn't want to say, Mummy can't afford this. This isn't something that we could do. So he looked at me saying we were going to Disney. And I said, yes, we are. And wow, that was a moment that I will never forget, because that was a true goal, a true light bulb moment where I realized the importance of putting these goals into place. I realized what I was capable of if I set a goal. So from that moment forward, I started my dream book. And Will and Rosie and I, we put in the things that we wanted. Every time someone came through the door, they would open that dream book and show people. And they'd say, you know, Mummy's taking us to Disney. And wow, that just made me think, do you know what? I've got to make this happen. I've got to be able to take them. So really, whenever I wasn't doing anything, Will and Rosie were saying, well, Mum, what are you doing? Because we want to go to Disney. And it gave me that real kick up the arse. You might be needing a kick up the arse right now. So think to yourself, you know, what is it that your loved ones want? Ask them, work together. So I had actually got to supervisor in 6 weeks. I then had got to assistant manager in 5 months. But at this point, I was at the assistant manager level for 18 months. And I didn't budge because I was happy. I wasn't moving. I hadn't set any goals until this moment. Now, imagine being assistant manager for 18 months and 2 months later hitting manager. And all that had changed was I'd stuck these pictures in my book. But in that, I'd said to myself, I'm doing it. I'm taking my little boy to Disney. I'm taking my little girl to Disney. I had decided to decide. And that's what the difference is. When you decide to decide, you will make it happen. And I just started talking to more people, sharing this business opportunity with other people and saying to them, you know, what is it that you're wanting to achieve? Really thinking and engaging with people and seeing how I could help them rather than how they could help me. And that's what this is about. You know, we all know loads of people, and right now we know a lot of people struggling, a lot of people needing change, a lot of people needing another way. If we show them our business, this might be exactly what they're looking for. If we don't show them, they'll never know. So we have a 50% chance, because 50% you show them, they might like it, they might not. But if you don't show them, it's 100% no. So that's all that changed, is I started talking to more people about the business opportunity. So I hit manager. We went to Disney. It was bloody amazing. I still can remember it now. And the kids still remember it as well. And then what happened is I hit manager. And again, my business stabilized, just like it did when I got to assistant manager, because I wasn't pushing myself further. And Mum arranged for me to have a planning meeting with Jane that year. And I remember going to meet her, and I had this whole long list of things I wanted to achieve. And they were basically things that I thought would impress her, that I wanted to achieve, rather than things that I wanted for myself. So I had on there getting a chairman's bonus check. I had on there doing the car plan. I had on there going on the global rally. I had been a speaker at a success day. Oh my God, that was my biggest fear, considering I was bloody scared of speaking at all. But I thought, you know what, to move forward, I need that on my goal board. It was to be a top achiever. And I remember sitting there with Jane, and she was like asking me these questions, and nothing, I suppose, was giving that light in my eyes. And she said, well, you know, Nat, what do you really want? Now, I was struggling in my marriage to Will and Rose's dad. You know, he's a great guy. We just weren't great together. And I knew in order to be able to look after the children and be on my own, I needed to earn £4,000 per month. So I said to Jane, I need £4,000 per month. And that's where she saw that light bulb. That's where she saw my real why, my real reason. And that is what she knew that I was going to work for. So sometimes we can have all these goals written down, which we think other people need to see, but it's actually that real thing that sparks us, that sparks that motivation. Because if you've got that motivation, we're all going to have challenges in our life. My God, I have loads, and you think I don't have them now, but I do. But if you know what you're working towards, that challenge won't stop you. You will still get up every single day and go to work. And that's exactly what I did. So I said to Jane, you know, I wanted to earn £4,000 per month. And the funny thing that happened that year is I took my business from a brand new manager doing only like 30 case credits a month. So that's really, you know, a big supervisor, very low assistant manager. And I took my business from that to the end of October that year to doing 268 case credits, if I remember correctly. And that meant I smashed my £4,000 per month. And by having that one goal in sight, I ticked off all those other little goals along the way. I hit the car plan. I actually went on to achieving my first chairman's bonus check. I hit the global rally. I was a speaker at the success day. I was a top recruiter, but I'd focused on that one goal rather than having all these little things taking my attention. You've got one thing, you're going that way, and you don't stop. So think of, what is that one goal that's going to drive you, that one thing that's going to move you forward? Pop in the comments now, you know, that one goal that is going to move you forward, because I promise you, it just literally focuses you. I'm trying to see how you can see those. Oh, here we are. You should be able to see the comments now. So pop on the comments, that one goal that's going to move you forward in 2021, you know, we're nearly there. This last quarter is going to be setting us up for next year. So what is it that you're prepared to work for? What is it that's going to make you keep on moving forward? What is it that is going to make you not have any excuses? That's going to make you get out of bed a little bit earlier, maybe go to bed a little bit later. You'll see as you're commenting, if it just says Facebook user, there's somewhere that you can click so it shows your name. Someone else says, I want to have a 5-bedroom house, to think big, aim for the moon, land on the stars. That's totally exactly what you want. So yeah, Facebook user, somewhere that you can click so it shows your name. Helping my daughter go to university and to take them to Disney next Christmas. That's an amazing goal. You'll see a little bit more about what I did as I share my story now. So let's have a look. Where did we go? Someone else wants to pay off their mortgage. That would be very exciting. So what happened then is I started seeing the importance of setting goals, and really pushing my dream book, working out what the next plan was, and having more of a 5-year vision, because sometimes it's easy to set our little goals. So what we want in the next 3 months, 6 months. But what I learned to do is to plan ahead, to plan for those years ahead. And one of my biggest goals was to put Will and Rosie through a private education. So I didn't go to private school. My husband, Rob, he didn't go to private school, but he is a teacher in a state school in Birmingham. It's not a great school. And we kind of saw the importance of what a private education could do. Now, he is a teacher. He wasn't going to be able to fund that. And then obviously we're divorced. And I thought, if it's going to be, it's up to me. So just write that down. If it's going to be, it's up to me. And that became my motto, if you like. That was my driving force, because Will and Rosie are my world. Like, I'm sure for you, your children are your world. And I decided that I wanted to give them everything. I wanted to make these goals come true. And I can remember, you know, they were in state school to begin with, and I remember going round the school that they should have gone to senior school and not even finishing the tour, because I was so welled up with emotion, because that's where I didn't see them. I then went around the private schools, saw the uniform, imagined them in it. I was earning like £500-600 a month at the time. It was nothing I could do. However, I could visualize it. I could then wake up every day and imagine my children in that school. I could put the work into place to make it happen, because I had a fear of them not achieving it. And that fear was bigger than the fear of doing the activity that was going to get them there. And in 2013, they started private school. It was always my plan for Will to start first and then Rosie 2 years later. However, what happened was I achieved my first chairman's bonus check. In fact, it wasn't. It was my third chairman's bonus check. But that enabled me to put Rosie into school the same year. So they both actually started together. And it's been life-changing for them. You know, Will and Rosie, they're not highly academic kids. In fact, they need extra support. And, you know, they've been through a lot in their life. So those small classes has been incredible. And, you know, during lockdown, it's just shown me again, you know, the importance of the school that they're in, the nurturing. They're just a very, very family type school. And, you know, they've literally flourished there. So I'm so grateful to Forever, and so grateful for learning the importance of setting goals, because if I hadn't of, you know, they wouldn't be having the future that they have now. One of my biggest passions in life is traveling. So before university, I traveled for a year. After university, I traveled for a year. So for me, you know, and again, growing up, I was brought up, you know, my parents were able to take us on family holidays. We always went skiing on a summer holiday. And I just dreamt of doing the same for my children, but if not more. And Forever has enabled us to literally do that. So the first, real 5 years of my business, first 2 years I was messing. It took me 2 years to get to manager. After that, the next 5 years, I was working really, really full on. And, I was a single parent living 50 miles from any family, not like where I live now, next door to my sister, up the road from my mum. I was 50 miles away. So whenever I was going out, I had to get babysitters, I had to get help, I had to find a way to do it. And I worked so, so hard. But that 5 years has set us up for the future. And we have been able to literally travel the world together. And, a lot of it, so whenever it's school holidays in normal times, I will go off on holiday with the children. So for me, term time, work time, school holidays, that's my time with the kids, because I want to be creating those memories. But Forever has enabled us by qualifying for 2 holidays a year to literally see the world for free. I've never stayed in 5-star hotels. Amazing travel, spending money when you get there. So it's just been incredible, the things we've been able to do as a family. And obviously my mum and my sister qualify as well. So for us, it's like one big family holiday. It's just been absolutely incredible. So there you are. My mum started 24 years ago. It took me 10 years to join the business. It took my sister Sam 7 years to then join me. So she'd seen my mum for 17 years. So you might be thinking, oh yeah, my sister's not talked to me in 2 months of getting started. My brother hasn't looked. My mum hasn't looked. Whatever. 10 years, 7 years. Or 10 years, 17 years for my mum. And that's the most important thing. Our job isn't to convince anyone to do this. Our job is literally to show them and to follow up, because when the time's right, Forever will be there. And sometimes it might not be the right time. This business can't be for everyone right now. But what we can do is follow up on people. And for us, it's been truly, truly a family business. So my brother, we have got an older brother. So my brother's the oldest, then me, then my sister. My brother did start with me a few years ago. He lives out in South Africa. But you know what? The business just wasn't right for him. He was kind of a little bit embarrassed about selling aloe vera, a little bit embarrassed about health and wellness products. The joke is now, though, he's selling sex toys. He's got an online sex business, but too embarrassed to sell aloe vera. But one thing is, he's an entrepreneur just like us. We're very much an entrepreneurial family, and he's doing very, very well. So, but it's not for him right now. So yeah, some of the memories we've had have been incredible. And these are just a few of my favorite ones. And basically going away anywhere in the UK in school holidays, just being able to get away for a weekend has been part of my life for the past 15 years. We're actually just about to exchange on our first holiday home in Devon, which has just been one of my biggest goals since I started. 15 years later, we're enabling that to happen. We'll literally open the doors onto the sea. It is just the best view ever. We've been able to go on safari probably 3 times. I think we've done that. So the photo there was actually on my 40th birthday. Rosie is absolutely a lover of animals. So this was her absolute dream. You remember me saying my first goal was to take the kids to Disney. Well, that photo there, second one down, my brother, as I said, lives in Cape Town. He'd come over with his son, Josh, who's the same age as Will. And my sister's got her 2 as well. And I surprised them all to a weekend at Euro Disney. It was just absolutely incredible, something that the kids will never forget. And again, so grateful to this business to be able to do that. Being able to go out with my family again to see my brother in Cape Town, to all have a family holiday there was just incredible. Like I said, My parents always took me skiing, so I skied from age 2 because we actually lived in Switzerland for a few years. So for me, again, to be able to take the kids skiing every year has been a dream, and we managed to do that from when they were 7 and 5, and we've been every year since. It's our thing together that we absolutely love. And then doing amazing things like flying over Victoria Falls. That was just absolutely incredible, doing that with my mum and my stepdad. So the memories you create, you know, it's not about money, it's about memories, and those memories are there forever. The holidays that we're getting forever, something very, very special about that, really, in the fact that you go away with people that you've been working with. And, you know, I'm a mum, so I naturally talk to mums. So a lot of people in my team are mums too, because you attract just like you. So the kids have become friends with their kids. And, you know, Will and Rosie keep in touch with so many of my team's kids that they've met literally when they were 5. So you can see there with Ange Loughran's daughter, Bella. And they've just had some of the most amazing time. So it truly is a family business. So my first 2 checks, so it took me 5 years to achieve my first chairman's bonus check. I didn't do anything quickly. You look at my sister, she achieved her first check in the first year. She just worked harder than I did. My first check was about £2,000, same again the next one. Then I had a £10,000 one. And then this one was 45,000. I mean, just totally blew my mind. That was in 2014. It took me to number 2 in the UK, which, you know, I just have to pinch myself because it was never a goal. But literally what I wanted to do was help other people achieve what I had done. And by doing that, you just literally move further and further up the marketing plan. Then this check here, 682,000, was just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And I remember getting this check and it going from that 45,000 to 682. I totally couldn't believe it. You know, I knew that my business had grown, and to achieve that, it meant I'd help lots of other people in my team achieve chairman's bonus checks as well, because that's how you get the big ones. It's about helping other people do it. But never in my wildest dreams did I know or expect it to be that much. And I can remember being on the stage and being totally overwhelmed and in tears. I couldn't get my breath because I'd never, ever expected it. So I was literally just gobsmacked. And that check, if you like, massively changed my future. It massively showed me what I had my hands on and secured us, you know, as a single parent, secured us for life and enabled me to really see what I'd worked for and appreciate and humble, and I just really can't even explain it. We were out in Singapore when we got it, and this gives you a little idea now, because this is a photo of a lot of the other people in my team that achieved checks at the same time. And you really want to be working and helping other people, raising them up, helping them achieve everything that they dreamt possible, because if you reach out and help other people, you'll get more than you ever dreamt possible yourself. And I think that's the most important thing, is when you're working with people, to trying to find out, you know, what is it that they're looking for? What is it that helps them tick? How can you help them? And caring for other people, having empathy for other people, is going to literally light up your business and light up your life. Now, this photo here is just epitomizes for me everything that I've worked for. So it took from 640 odd thousand the year before to over 1 million. Now, I was crying the year before, but you can see Will and Rosie crying on the stage here. And I remember again this like yesterday, and I looked down at the kids after. I was smiling, not a tear in sight, because actually the shock the year before was loads bigger, taking it from 40 to 640 rather than 640 to 1 million. I knew my business had grown, but it wasn't such a massive jump as the year before. And I looked down at the kids and I said, Will, Rosie, why are you crying? And they looked up at me and they said, Mum, because you've done this for us. And that was the moment that I knew I'd ticked off every goal possible, because all I'd ever wanted my children to do is to see what happens when you work hard, when you go for things, when you go to providing everything that you want possible for them. They'd seen the tears, they'd seen the hard work, but they'd also seen what it gives them. They'd seen that Mum had said, do you know what, I'm going to make these dreams come true. We'd put them in that goal book. And that was the moment that I really realised that Will and Rosie appreciated and saw me as the person that had done that for them. So it was a massive, massive moment for me. And I don't think anything will ever replace that moment at all. And it is, finding that thing that motivates you. Maybe you haven't got children, maybe it's your partner, maybe it's doing something for people that you love, but literally it's just finding that drive. And then from that moment, that enabled me to buy our first home. So at that point, I'd been renting with the kids, because you're self-employed, you can't get a mortgage, you haven't got the books. My business was growing so much and the books weren't balancing up. You needed 3 years. So it took me that long to be able to buy our first home, I guess, because I had a vision of the home that I wanted. And I guess I could have afforded another one, but not the home that I wanted. So my sister lives in a beautiful barn conversion. My brother was over from South Africa, and the house opposite to my sister was up for sale. And my brother said, Nat, just come and have a look. I'd love to think of you living right by Sam and my mum. So I went to look at this house, and from the outside, I didn't like it. But when I went inside, I thought, you know what, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. And I bought this house literally next door to my sister, 100 meters from my mum, and had no idea about renovations, because I wanted to renovate the whole house to make it into our dream home that we'd had on our dream board. I wanted an old house that was modern on the inside. So I had a friend of mine who has got a plumbing and heating business. And I said to him, look, will you help me? Will you kind of manage the house? I'm a single mum, busy with a massive business at this point, and didn't really have the headspace to then be renovating a home. So I was living with Will and Rosie in my sister's spare room at this point now, because my rented house, they wanted us out because they had new tenants coming in. So that's where we lived for a good 5-6 months, I can't remember now. And my friend Paul managed the build and renovation of my home. And he got a builder called Drew. And a lot of you know that story now. But I spent a good year renovating that house and having the time to be able to take time out of my business, still keep it ticking over. So when I say I take time out of the business, I still do something on it every single day, but I wasn't putting the hours in that I had in the early days, because I wanted to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So put that home together. Actually changed it from a 5-bed into a 4-bed, because one of the rooms is a massive dressing room as part of my bedroom. I then had my 40th birthday celebration, which was, oh my God, the party of all parties. It was just incredible. And what happened next is I got pregnant, had a surprise baby. Never part of my plan in life, but the best thing that ever happened. So here I am, pregnant with Phoebe. I'd been renovating my house for a year, taking time out. My check went from $1 million to 677,000 as my chairman's bonus. And that was with time out. And that's when I had to pinch myself and just saw, you know, this business is just incredible. I was being paid monthly as well, obviously. And this was just on top of that. And then came Phoebe. Phoebe has literally been the light of my life. You know, something so unplanned brought lots of challenges into my life as well. I was very ill during my pregnancy with her, had lots of horrible things going on. And I guess, you know, that's probably a little bit about what I was saying as well. We're all going to have challenges in our life. We're going to have things that we don't expect to happen. And the difference between someone who is going to be successful and someone who's not going to be as successful is the showing up. You have to show up every single day despite what's going on, because we're all going to have things that go wrong. We're going to all have things that we rather wouldn't happen, but if we were in a job, we'd still have to go to work each day to be paid. And no matter what's gone on in my life, be it divorce, be it illness, be it losing people that I love, I've always showed up to work, and probably you wouldn't have known what was going on, because I am very good at at putting on my mask, my Natalie Healy mask, and just getting on, showing up and doing it, because those little people are the ones that I need to be providing for, the ones that I need to give the most amazing future for. So I always do what I need to do for them, and then I get on with the other stuff after. So there came Phoebe, and what joy it has been to be able to spend such precious time with her, and to know that that income's coming in because I'd put all that hard work in, and we've just been able to enjoy time. I have been lucky, and, you know, I have some help with her at home as well, so that I can be at home and work as well. But, you know, just literally not missing a moment has been absolutely incredible. I still went on that next year to pick up 430,000 as a chairman's bonus. So that was my maternity pay. You think what happens to maternity pay in a normal job? It certainly doesn't give you bonuses like that. And that was literally just doing the bare minimal, showing up on a daily basis, just doing those little things to keep my business ticking over. And little Phoebe's, my word, she's travelled everywhere with me. She's literally been on stage, done trainings with me, because she can. This is a family business. You know, when I show up as a mum, because these are the people that I talk to. I am a mum, so she's always with me. And that's the beauty of this business. It literally goes around what you're working for. So then there comes Drew. Amongst all of that, Drew then proposed, and we were then planning our amazing wedding. So he proposed when we were in Thailand. We went traveling to Thailand for a month with the kids. Absolutely incredible island hopping. And on Christmas Day 2 years ago, he proposed on the beach. So Will and Rosie knew. He'd asked Will and Rosie if they would be happy first, and he proposed. And then we planned our wedding for September last year. My God, I'm so happy it was last year, because my God, what people have gone through this year with COVID, I would have totally have been bridezilla. And we had literally the most incredible day with 200 of our friends. You can see the photo of us in my wedding dress. That's our house, and we're literally standing in the church next door. So we live literally right next door to the church where we got married. It was just the most incredible day. Drew's got 2 daughters as well. So Danny and Amy, they're 30 and 26. So my stepdaughters now. And it's just been an incredible blending of families, if you like. You can see my son Will giving me away there, one of the most proudest moments of my life, and just so grateful for Forever and enabling that to happen. So with all that going on, I decided, you know what, I wanted to get back to business, but I wanted to get back to building locally like I did when I started. We didn't have Facebook, we didn't have any of the online stuff. And I thought, you know, I've got a baby, let's build a local business again with people that I knew. So I'd moved to a new area. So I've been here for, well, about 7 years now, but having a baby, you know, brings you in touch with lots of people. So I started building it around my kitchen table. I love being with people and getting to know people. So got back to working, doing sizzles at home, doing all of that. And then what happened? COVID hit. COVID hit and changed everything again. And, you know, when things change, whether it's, you know, what's gone on with a pandemic, whether it's something in your life, whether it's a relationship breaking up, whatever it might be, we need to think, train your mind to see the good in everything. Positivity is a choice. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So we can get up each day and decide it's going to be an amazing day. We can decide each week is going to be an amazing week, or we can decide it's not. So COVID hit and I thought, you know what we're going to do is we're going to be able to do this. We're going to be able to take this whole business online. We're going to be able to do exactly the same, but reach more people. I'd always done product launches in people's homes. I'd never really built much of a massive business away online, but I just decided to decide. And the results have been amazing. The whole of our team has absolutely flourished because we've just adapted. We've decided to decide and we've learned new skills, and we're always having to learn new skills. Like tonight, I'm using StreamYard. I wasn't quite sure if it was working properly, but you've just got to get on and do it, which is exactly what we've done. So we learned to do Facebook launches. We learned to do WhatsApp launches. In fact, I did a WhatsApp launch on Friday night on the sofa and retailed over £700 worth of product. I had 25 of my customers online, 14 of them ordered, and that was the results. If you haven't done a WhatsApp sale, get on and do it. It's so simple. We learned to do Zoom launches. We learned to do all of our business presentations online, got involved doing Facebook Lives. If you haven't done a Facebook Live, just do it, because what is the worst thing that can happen? Nobody listens straight away, but you do it again and people will. You'll get better and better and better. But if you don't do it, things won't change. I learned to do my stories on Facebook and Instagram and doing it consistently. You know, people don't have a problem with consistency. What people have a problem with is commitment, the commitment to be consistent. And it is simply about deciding to decide. Deciding to do these things on a daily basis, to show up on a daily basis. And during the first lockdown, I was literally showing up, leading the team 12 hours a day. I was working like I was working in those first 5 years to set it up, because I decided to show Phoebe exactly the same work ethic than Will and Rosie had seen. And it's actually that Drew that said to me, you know, he was so proud of Will and Ro and how much they respect and see the work ethic that I've had. And, you know, Phoebe's has been born into an affluent lifestyle. And Drew said to me, you know, do you not want her to see the same? And that really, I suppose, hit me like a ton of bricks, in that, yeah, I wanted her to see exactly the same, to have those same values as I had had. So I literally got to work and decided to show up and decided to make this happen and make forever everything that happened during the day, that activity, to get the momentum going again. And wherever you are right now, you can choose, for 90 days to literally work this hard for 90 days. And the results you will see will literally set you on fire. So wherever you are right now could set you up for 2021 to achieve things that you never dreamt possible. You just have to trust in me and know that if you do it every single day, those results will come. GLT, so back in GLT in October. GLT is the global leadership team. So those are the top people in Forever from around the world. And they're put onto a committee, if you like, where we make decisions, work together with Rex and Greg. And I was on that for 5 years, but I dropped off it last year. So I'd taken that time out, doing the house, getting married, having Phoebes. And I really didn't like not being on it. They totally treat you like gold, but also it's the respect and the feeling of belonging, I guess, that it gives to you. So I decided at the start of lockdown in March that I was going to be back on the GLT. So that goal, again, that we talk about all the time, gave me the consistency to show up every single day and put the hours in to make it happen, to give myself a target and a focus. And I hit GLT in October. We have till the end of December to do it, which is 7,500 case credits. So totally goes to show what happens if you set that goal, if you do that dream book. So recommend if you do. Let me know in the comments if you have done a dream book. What I'd love you to do actually in the Facebook group, pop some photos in the comments of your dream book. Let people see, because putting it out there, making yourself accountable is all part of making things happen as well. So this has really been my plan. If I said to you, if you follow this plan for 5 years and it would take you to a millionaire, would you do it? And we're talking about working flexibly around your kids. I was doing this as a single parent away from any family. So I had to, yes, I was not going out and I wasn't doing other things as a priority. 100% Forever was my priority the whole time, but it's totally set us up for the future. So my plan, I've not been a massive recruiter. I've recruited an average of 2 per month. So you might think, well, I haven't recruited anyone yet, or I recruit more than that. But what do you need to do recruit 2 per month? You need to write your who do you know list, and it's always better to write it on paper rather than, having your Facebook friends, your phone numbers, have it all out in a book, whatever, so that you can mark through them. And I contact 5 people every single day to introduce them in some way to the business, whether that's to the products or to the business opportunity or to ask for a referral. I put out 300 cards per week through letterboxes. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, go in the units, have a look at the different ways of marketing your business. Just putting cards for people looking for a business opportunity through letterboxes. 300 per week would bring people asking me about what I did. I would talk to 3 to 5 people per week online. So having a one-to-one with them, in fact, whether that's in a coffee shop or more now on Zoom, because obviously we can't do that, but literally showing the business presentation to 3 to 5 people per week individually. So that's half an hour a time. It's not a lot. And if you're speaking to 5 people a day, that's very, very easy to do. I would do 1 event per month. So that might be a Christmas fair, a bridal fair. But now, there's events online you can be doing. 2 experience packs per week. So giving out for people to try the products. 2 product launches per month. So at the time, I was obviously doing those in people's homes, but you can do them online so easily now. You can ask your customers, to get some friends together and do a product launch for them. You've got to make sure you've got lots of activities in your diary every week, because if you've got a full diary, you're going to have a full wallet. Going to networking groups, and again, you can do the networking groups online now, so there's always ways to do it. And then I was consistently using my Facebook every single day and talking to people when I was out and about, so contact marketing. So, you know, if I had good service somewhere, if I met someone at the park, whatever, I would talk to them about the business opportunity and make friends. That's what we do. We're in the business of making friends. So ask yourself that question. Would you do those things for 5 years if it meant that you could be a millionaire? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to me? It means financial freedom. And what does financial freedom mean to me? It means if anything happens with my children, I have a choice. I have a choice to do the things that I want for my children without having to look at the price tag and thinking, can I afford that? And for me, that is true financial freedom. What it means to me will be different to you. We're all very, very different. So, you know, but for me, that's what it boils down to. So what I want to leave you with is knowing your why. You know, why are you listening in tonight? Why are you putting the time into your business? Why are you getting up a little bit earlier, going to bed a little bit later, talking to people? What are your goals? What's going to make you move forward? For me, it's all about my family, being an example, being able to provide and being able to leave them with a royalty income. So long after I'm gone, this business will continue to look after those people that I care about the most. And that's what gives me the drive to keep on going. So thank you for listening in tonight, everyone. I'd love to see your comments underneath. I'm just going to have a quick look through the comments. If anyone's got any questions now, just pop them on and I will answer them for you. Lots of great comments from people about this evening. Lots of thank yous. If you do have any questions, pop them in the comments in the group and I'll get back to you. It's been great sharing my story with you. And just think, you know, what are you prepared to work for? Because this business delivers whatever it is we choose to decide that we want, and then putting those goals into place. Have an amazing rest of the year, and let's make 2021 pretty damn amazing. It's got to be better than 2020, hey? All right then, everyone. Catch you later. Bye-bye.